has cranked up pressure on India to halt its purchases of Russian oil, repeating accusations that New Delhi is funding the Kremlin's campaign in Ukraine and casting the conflict as, quote-unquote, Modi's war. Speaking immediately after the Trump administration doubled tariffs on India to 50%, Navarro reiterated that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was funding the war machine. The 50% tariffs, the highest reciprocal levies in Asia, will hit more than 55% of goods that are shipped to the US, which is India's biggest export market. While key products such as electronics and pharmaceuticals are exempt for now, the duties will hit scores of labor-intensive industries like textiles and jewelry, as well as precious gems. Joining us on broadcast is Major General Dr. Rajan Kochar, Senior Strategic and Defense Expert. Major General Kochar, I have to begin by asking you, how fair is it to squarely blame India's import of Russian oil as a cause for Russia's continued aggression against Ukraine, when data from last year itself shows that the EU continued to import significant percentages of Russian gas and fossil fuels?
Thank you, Devika. It's a very, very interesting discussion here because there is no logic in singling out India here. For the information of America, I think they are aware that China is the largest importer of oil, crude oil from Russia, and India comes only after China. So Trump is not able to impose these kind of tariffs and sanctions on China because of the supply of the rare earth materials and other electronic and critical components from China. So it has singled out India as far as this is concerned. And one of the important reasons is that Trump has not been able to convince Putin or to pressurize Putin in any way to stop this conflict. There have been a number of meetings, and we had the Alaska meeting also. Thereafter, Zelensky was also called to Washington. No amount of coercion is working on Putin. Trump is aware. And therefore, I feel that this is a desperate measure to ensure that pressure is put on India to stop importing oil from Russia. And I don't think it's going to work in this case because we are all aware that India follows a policy of strategic autonomy and has very strong linkages with Russia. The point now here is that after imposing these kind of tariffs and sanctions, where are we heading? Because right now, I don't think India is buckling down, and it will be very, very interesting to see in the SEO summit now, where Putin, Xi Jinping, and Modi are going to meet. What kind of discussions are going to take place? Will there be a case now for India's realignment of its foreign policy? We should not forget that we have strong linkages with the United States, and this has happened over the last 2 decades. So can just one president come and wipe out everything what the US and India have actually gone into? We have the COMCOSA, we have the LIPUA, we have so many agreements. Compact is there, ISET is there. There's so many agreements with the United States related to the energy sector, technology sector, and the defense sector. And most important is, it will be very interesting to watch here that whether these tariffs are going to be applied to the defense sector also, because basically it is our, we are importing from America. So I don't think those tariffs will come into play But there is a tremendous pressure on Prime Minister Modi now because, as you rightly said, 55% of the items are going to get impacted, and mostly these are labor intensive, which are going to impact millions of jobs in India, and especially in states of Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, because these are the two states where the textiles and the gems and jewelry are actually based here. So these are two critical sectors. India will has already started diversification because that is the only strategy we have now.
Yes.
But impact is tremendous. See, this impact is not a small one. Almost 20% of India's exports are to the US today. If you look at the shipments, it is almost 20% of the shipments are to the USA, and the
Yes.
USA is our largest importer of goods. So I think it is going to impact a number of sectors, and our foreign policy has been put to a test.
Okay, Major General Rajan Kochar, on that note, when you say our foreign policy has been put to test, I want to understand from you, because India has shown no signs that it will be buckling under pressures from the United States of America, do statements like these, where the Russia-Ukraine war is being called Modi's war, is this somewhere a pressure tactic in order to create a narrative that will possibly push India to maybe use its position, its goodwill with Russia to perhaps take talks on a ceasefire and a peace deal forward? Because interestingly, of course, the US will never approach any country to join the peace talks. We know that very clearly. However, do you think that this could possibly be a pressure tactic to create some sort of a narrative that may push India to maybe use its good relations with Russia to intervene and say it's time to stop this war?
Devika, I think India has maintained a very consistent position as far as this war is concerned, because Prime Minister Modi has been talking frequently to Putin, and Prime Minister Modi has been telling him to stop this war. It is not the first time that this narrative has come up from the USA, because the USA has been harping on this for quite some time now. But India's stand has been very, very firm when Prime Minister Modi visited Ukraine also, and met Zelensky also. He offered his services to Zelensky that if you need a help, we will talk to Russia to end this war. And we have a wonderful opportunity coming our way now when Putin is actually going to visit India. And thereafter, I believe Zelensky has also accepted an invitation to come to India. So I think these are the two important things which are going to happen in the next couple of months, which would is play up the role of India in world geopolitics as a peacemaker. Because India would also like this war to come to an end. It may be coincident that America is imposing that kind of a narrative on us with this 25% punitive tariffs of buying oil from Russia. But I don't think these kind of coercive diplomacy plays in a positive manner, because it's going to spoil the relation. And most important, Devika, is the trust factor. See, we have a number of defense deals going with the US, and supposing if we are buying a C-70 transport aircraft, or a C-130 Globemaster, or the Apaches, or the Chinooks, these platforms are going to be with us for the next 40, 50 years. And the entire spare support of these platforms is going to be from the United States, because
Yes.
United States is not sharing any kind of technology with us, or joint ventures also not happening. So we have to see the larger perspective now, that when we are going in for defense deals with the United States, do we have trust in the United States to sustain this equipment with India for the next 4 decades? So I
Okay.
think that would be a very important perspective for our foreign policy and the defense policy makers in India.
All right, Major General Rajan Kochur.